name's Becky May from Front Yoga, and this practice has been designed specifically for my lovely friend Cate, and it's a sequence that's particularly good for those who really want to use their yoga practice to make a kind of nourishing, nurturing space for themselves every day. So we've got intention setting in there, and also who really want to balance and calm the mind. So I think we all can say we have a busy mind, it's part of the human condition. So there's kind of challenging postures, including balances in this sequence, that really just help you bring your awareness right into what you're doing, and just for this time to stop that kind of mind chatter, be really focused in the present with the practice, and we finish with a little bit of a seated meditation to help us practice watching the mind. So a balancing, grounding, calming, challenging, to keep the mind focused practice. So let's just start seated. Any comfortable seated position. Just let the torso be free, and just take a moment to settle, just dropping down through the pelvis and the legs, connecting fully to the floor, to the mat, and feeling the spine lifting up away from that foundation, nice and free, so the head kind of feels like it's lightly bobbing on top of the spine, a sense of being pulled upwards on a string. Just bring the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back, push them down, find core awareness, so gently draw the navel back to the spine. And from here, so we're just bringing our awareness in from the outer world to our body, to how our body's seated on the mat, and then to our breath, just watching your natural breath. And in this space we're creating for ourselves, so this is a practice you could perhaps do every day or every other day to open this space for you. So we start it by making a positive statement about what you want the fruits of this practice to lead to, but we say it as if it's already the case. For example, I have abundance, all my needs are met, I have perfect health, I am peaceful and calm, I am balanced, I am in my centre, I have harmonious relationships, etc., etc. Just choose a statement, or simply I love myself, I accept myself as I am, anything that just resonates. You'll know when you find the right one, because it's like, oh yeah, this is what I need to be working with. So we just open the practice with finding the words for us, as if it's already the case. No, I want to be, just I am. And just state that to yourself, maybe 2 or 3 times, just with real feeling, real emphasis, even if you don't yet fully believe it. Kind of fake it till you make it. Summon as much feeling, emotional feeling, quality, emphasis as you repeat this statement to yourself. And there's a power in doing this when we work in this way. It's like the energy we create in our practice gets moved towards this theme, this statement we're making, and the universe comes in to support us through this regular commitment to our practice and restating the same intention. Okay, so we have our intention. So when you're ready, we'll just take one very simple stretch here, just before we come up to our feet. So just bring the fingertips down to the mat, with the palms up, and on your next inhale, raise the hands above the head. And at the top of the inhale, the palms come together, and simply exhale, coming down the same way, till the fingertips rest on the floor. Just do that 2 more times. Inhale, raising the hands, bringing the palms together at the top of the inhale at full stretch, but dropping the shoulders. And exhale. Let's do 1 more in your own time, matching breath and movement. Already perhaps noticing a difference, just simple breath, movement, synchrony. And then in your own time we're going to come to stand. So come to stand at the front of your mat. The sun salutations. So we're just going to do a couple. If you do this sequence regularly and get to know it by heart, you can add in as many as you wish. Feet together, little gap between the heels, shoulders up, back, down, reach through the fingertips. Drop the tailbone, draw the navel in and firm the front of the thighs. Whole body active here in Tadasana. And connect to your breath. Slow deep breaths in and out through the nose. Maybe Ujjayi breath if you know it. And then on an inhale, raise the hands above the head. Look up to the thumbs. Exhale, fold. And bring the hands down to the floor. So bend the knees as much as you need here. Drop the head. Inhale, look up, unwind the spine, open the chest. Exhale, step back to plank. Shoulders over the wrist, body in a straight line. Strong legs, firm core. On your next exhale, lower the knees, the chest and the chin, keeping the hips high. Use the inhale to slip the legs out behind you and come up to a back bend, shoulders back, chest forward, look up. And exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. So taking 3 to 5 breaths here, feet hip distance apart, dropping the heels down towards the floor, spreading the fingertips, pushing the floor away to send those hips up and back, stretching the whole of the back body. And deep breaths. We're using these sun salutations to generate heat, energy. So strong breath. And at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk or step the feet to the hands. And as the inhale comes, use it to raise the head, open up the spine, open the chest, and exhale, drop the head, fold into the shins. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head, palms together, thumbs touch. And exhale, hands to the side. And just one more today like that. Inhale, take the hands up, looking up. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, drop the head, folding in. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back to plank or jump if you prefer. Inhale here, strong body. Exhale, knees on the floor as before or off the floor if you prefer to chaturanga. Use the inhale to find your back bend, shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, downward dog. Spread the fingertips. Spread the toes, drop the heels, open the upper arms away from the ears, so we externally rotate the upper arms away from the ears, draw the shoulder blades together down the spine, long neck, long relaxed neck. Core awareness, lifting the navel up towards the spine. And at the end of the exhale, walk, step, or maybe jump, feet towards the hands. Inhale to look up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands above the head, look up. And exhale, hands to the side, returning to Tadasana. And just take a moment here, and then turn to face the long edge of your mat for Trikonasana, triangle. So taking the feet out between the elbows and the wrists, turn the left foot in, the right foot out, keep the hips facing forward. Inhale here, firming up the thighs. Exhale with the legs as straight as you can, reach the torso to the right, and when it won't go any further, right hand comes down to meet the leg, possibly the foot, and the left hand comes up and we look up if that's okay for our neck. Keep drawing up on the kneecaps to firm the thighs. Breathe deep. And at the end of your exhale, release the left hand to the hip. So we're going to transition into half moon balance. So we turn to face the right foot, we bend the knee and we take the fingertips to the floor, forwards and outside of the right foot. You could use a block here. If you had a yoga brick, you could put your hand on the brick if the floor feels quite far away. Okay, and then we start to step the back foot in until the right hip's more or less above the right ankle, and we can start to lift the back leg, and we might only just make it a small amount, but if we can, we're lifting it up to hip level. We can obviously keep the right knee leg bent if we need, otherwise straightening the right leg. Find your core, navel to spine, pelvic floor lifts, and if it's okay for the balance, take the left hand up. If you're wobbly, keep looking towards the floor. If you're feeling stable, you can start to play with drishti, play with the gaze, looking forward and eventually up to the top hand. The back leg's very strong, we're pushing out through the heel and the toes face forward, so there's an inward rotation of the back leg. One more breath if you can. And then we make the exit part of the posture, so as you exhale, bend the standing leg, see if you can place the left foot down, light as a feather, and inhale, push yourself back up. And we do the same on the other side. I hope I have space. Move this way. So we're going to turn right foot in, left foot out, heels in line, and the hips stay facing forward. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, slide the torso to the left, keeping the thighs firm, and when you can't go any further, left hand meets left leg, possibly foot. Right hand reaches up, so open the fingertips, open the skin of the palm, and looking up to the top hand. If it's too much for your neck, look forward, just make sure the shoulder doesn't follow. Keep the right shoulder drawing back, so it's above, it's stacked above the left shoulder. Draw up on the kneecaps to firm the thighs, find your core connection, navel back, pelvic floor lifting, and slow deep breaths. And you can have this sense of extension out through the top of the head, as if somebody's gently pressing onto the top of your head and you're pushing back against that, so there's an elongation of the neck. Okay, and at the end of your exhale, release the right hand to the right hip, turn to look at the left foot, start to bend the left leg, fingertips down onto your block or the floor, forward and to the outside of the left foot, and start to step the back foot in until you can raise it off the floor as far as you can get. Firm the thigh, inwardly rotate so the toes point forward, and play with your drishti, floor forward, maybe up, and if it's okay for your shoulder, right arm lifts. Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon balance. So it's really difficult to be anywhere other than in the present moment when we're doing these challenging balances. Use your core connection here to stabilize at the center of the posture, radiate the limbs out from your power center. Great, and then as you exhale, bring the right hand to the right hip, bend the left leg, light as a feather, step the right foot down, don't worry if you're not light as a feather, and inhale, coming back up. Great. Okay, and then just step to the front of the mat into Tadasana, our reset posture. Okay, and then from here we're going to step the left foot back quite fast, there's quite a big gap, and the heels more or less in line, or maybe the right foot ever so slightly, like a foot's width out to the right, so the hips face forward. We come up on the toe of the back foot, so the heel lifts, and we exhale. The hands on the hips, just drop the hips, bend this right leg, so the knee is above the ankle, or possibly behind, not in front. So you can almost bounce a little bit here just to check how active that back leg is. See if you can squeeze the buttock, draw the heel to the wall behind you, drop the tailbone, draw the navel to the spine. Inhale, raise the hands, so high lunge here. You can bring the palms together, or if the shoulders are tight, just shoulder width apart, palms face each other. If the balance is okay, you can look up. Breathe deeply into the chest. We're going to take this into a twist. If you don't have capacity for elbow, you can take your left hand to the outer right thigh and reach the right hand back. This is a lovely twist. And you're kind of pressing the left hand into the outer thigh to develop that twist further. Otherwise, if it's available, we're going to bring the left elbow to connect with the outer right thigh, just above the knee. Palms together and look out over your right shoulder. So you're pressing your right hand into your left. Back leg is very strong and active. Back heel, left heel drawing backwards. Push through the ball of the left foot and press down through the heel of the right foot. Spread the toes of both feet. Draw the navel away from the bent leg towards the spine. Press the elbow into the thigh, resist with the thigh. Great, and at the end of the next exhale, inhale, come back through high lunge. And see if you can exhale, step the left foot back to join the right. Bit of a thigh burner this one, but it's great for building strength and stability in the hips and the legs. So let's go to the other side. So when you're ready, step the right foot back. So the left foot is in front now, and let's just set up first. We're on the toe of the back foot, heel is lifted, Hands on the hips to begin with, to check the hips are facing forward. And then we start to drop into the hips, so lowering down through the hips until the left knee is above the left ankle or slightly behind. We're on the ball of the back foot, very active. Right heel drawing backwards. Drop the tailbone, draw the navel in. Inhale, raise the hands, either palms together or shoulder width apart, maybe looking up. Taking one or two slow deep breaths here, really breathing into the chest cavity. It's nice and open here. So use that. And then on your next exhale, taking it into the twist again, either pressing the right hand into the outer left thigh, reaching back. I actually really like this variation. There's somehow more spaciousness, or a little bit more intense perhaps. Right elbow to the outer left thigh. And we press the elbow into the thigh, and we press the left hand into the right. We draw the navel away from the left thigh. Very strong in the back leg, kind of bouncy feeling on that back foot, on the ball of the back foot, as if we could spring off it at any moment. Right thigh, very strong here, connected to our core. Breathing deep. Great, and then inhale to open up back to the high lunge. And exhale, step the right foot to join the left. Back to Tadasana. Pause, gather yourself. Great. And then we step again to the long edge of the mat, but this time with a nice wide stance. So outer edges of the feet parallel. I'm just going to take a little inversion. There's quite a few inversions in this practice to help with the balancing of the mind. So we inhale, roll the shoulders back and look up to the ceiling, and exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. When you get to your deepest fold, bring the hands to the mat. Inhale, look up, straightening the arms, draw the shoulders back, connect to your core. Exhale, draw the body towards, draw the torso towards the thighs by front body contraction. Relax the back of the neck, top of the head drops towards the floor. Firming up the thighs, spreading the toes, lifting the inner arches of the feet. If you're very open, you can turn your hands the other way, reach them through the legs. Otherwise, fingertips forward. Slow, deep breaths. And then, the end of your next exhale, if the hands are turned round, bring them back to face forward again, fingertips forward. And then inhale, press through the hands, straighten the arms, look up. Exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, press through the feet, bring yourself back to upright. And exhale, step the feet together, Tadasana. Just take a moment, a reset, a pause, a check-in. Maybe repeat that intention to yourself halfway through the practice, or probably a little bit more than halfway. And then we'll come down to the floor. So sit yourself down. And we're going to come into Paschimottanasana, the forward fold, but we're going to take a good long time here. We've kind of generated a lot of fire in the legs, in the body, in the standing sequence. So we're just going to take a really introspective, calming forward fold here. So just take a moment before we go forward to just find your core. So lift up on the pelvic floor, the perineum, and scoop the lower belly in and up. So navel towards the spine. Firm up the front of the thighs and push through the heels, toes to the ceiling, opening the soles of the feet. Hands by the hips, chin in. So we're just taking a moment in Dandasana, the staff pose, where the body's very active, this L shape. And then with this core connection, we're going to inhale, raise the hands. And then exhale, start to take the chin and the chest forward till you can't go any further, and then just release the hands down to the legs, wherever they get to, thighs, shins, ankles or feet. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine again, and then exhale, drop the head. So we now come into our kind of more soft, introspective version of this posture. So you could have the palms facing up as this kind of gesture of receptivity, surrender. We're looking... It's my dog. We're looking for that more yin quality here, and just start to drop in. So slowing the breath down, just letting it unfold with the breath. No rush, no need to be anywhere in particular here except where you are. We still keep a level of contraction in the front body, so connect to your core and have the thighs firm and push out through the heels, toes pointing up to the ceiling. But we relax the shoulders and the jaw. We soften wherever we can soften. And really just go to the breath, deepen the breath. And maybe with each exhale, you just get into this posture incrementally more deeply with each breath. And maybe not, maybe we just find our edge and breathe there. But usually after a longer time in a posture, the body perhaps feels safe to just go a little bit deeper, but we're not pushing. So we're including this posture here because it's a wonderful, involuting, inward-looking, introspective, literally navel-gazing posture. So it's helping with this creating space to be with ourselves in the way we want to be with ourselves, and the theme of that is set by our intention. So just have this real sense that you're just being with yourself in a really supportive, loving way, the way you would be there for your best friend or loved ones. Be there with yourself in this posture with the same quality of presence. Just a few more slow deep breaths. And then slowly come up. So slowly start to bring yourself out of this. The last thing to come up is the head. So just keep the head kind of looking down. Slowly unwind the spine back to vertical. Draw the shoulders back and then feel that final detail of the head lifting to bring the spine back to its neutral curves. And then we're just going to take a seated twist here. So you can use the hands around the shin to draw the right heel towards the groin. If it's available, step the foot to the outside of the left knee, otherwise we're just keeping it all the way into the groin here on the right side. Either way, we push out through the heel of the left foot, toes to the ceiling. Take your right hand behind you as your prop. Inhale, lengthen up through the left side, and exhale, twist towards the bent leg, either hooking the knee into the elbow or possibly pushing the elbow to the outer knee, outer thigh, or even for some of you maybe there's a little bind you can do here, reaching back underneath the gap underneath the right knee, and maybe finding opposite fingertips or possibly even wrist of the opposite hand. See if your right foot is hooked over the left leg, on the outside of the left leg, press down through the big toe. And we're looking towards or beyond our right shoulder, we're connected to our core, breathing as deeply as possible. Don't forget your left foot, left leg, active. Breathe all the way up to the collarbones, broaden the chest. And at the end of your next exhale, unwind slowly, turning back to the front. Just take a moment, take a breath at the front before we swap sides. So take the right leg out. Again, options, you can use the hands around the front of the shin to draw the left heel as close to the groin as possible inside the right thigh, or to get into the hip a little bit more, if it's available, step the foot to the outside of the right knee. Either way, push through the heel of the right foot, toes to the ceiling, left hand behind the back. Inhale, raise the right hand, get really long through the right side, then twist from the navel towards the bent leg, hugging the elbow into the knee or pushing the elbow against the outer knee or outer thigh. Look towards or beyond the left shoulder. Possible optional bind for those for whom it's easily available, showing you this side, fingertips, maybe even wrist. Optional. If the left foot is hooked over the right leg, press down through the big toe. Try not to lift the foot. Pushing out through right heel, toes to the ceiling. And breathe deep. And at the end of your next exhale, turn to the front, unwind the spine, nice and easy, nice and steady. Take a big breath facing the front. And exhale, release the legs. Great. And then we're coming down onto our backs. We're going to take a back bend and then some more inversions to finish. So, Setu Bandhasana, the supported bridge. We take hold of the front of the ankles and place the heels right next to the buttocks, or as close to the buttocks as we can, about hip distance apart, trying to avoid the toes splaying out. So as you look forward, if you can really see your feet, they're probably sticking out. We try and get the outer edges of the feet parallel, so bring the toes in, take the heels out and press through the big toe edges of the feet. Hands by the hips, and then inhale, start to push through the hands and the feet to lift the hips high. And we just come as high up the back as is right for us. If we're quite high up the back, we can roll to the left and draw the right shoulder under, so we kind of actually come onto the shoulder here, and then lean to the right, draw the left shoulder under, so we're actually resting on the shoulders, and then maybe interlace the hands beneath the back, or we just keep the hands by the hips. And then we take about 5 breaths here, breathing the chest towards the chin, opening the front body, keep active in the legs, so the thighs work hard here, we're pushing down through the feet, and kind of almost feeling like we're squeezing the thighs towards each other, even though they're not touching. So thighs should feel like they're working. See if you can conversely relax the buttocks as much as possible. It will be difficult to completely relax them, but try not to over clench. Let the thighs do the work more than the buttocks. One more breath. And then slowly unwinding the spine, so if the hands have been clasped, unclasp the hands and then press through the palms and slowly lower the spine to the floor, from the top of the spine to the lower spine, vertebra by vertebra, having that kind of feeling as you finally place the sacrum down at the base of the spine, and just shuffle the shoulders back a little bit probably, and take the feet forward a little bit probably, so that you just feel the whole of the skin of the back just reconnecting to the mat. Maybe let the inner knees rest against each other for a moment, take the feet a little bit wider, arms flop out to the side, just take a little moment here after your back bend. Back bends are very enlivening, they raise our energy, so it's good to just take a moment to let the energy settle again. Deep belly breaths help. And then we're going to stretch the legs up to the ceiling and push through the heels, so opening the soles of the feet like we did seated, and then take the hands back. So we're back in this L-shaped position of Dandasana, but on the floor now. Opening the soles of the feet, pushing out and up through the heels and pushing down through the sacrum. Maybe finding some deep core connection here in the lower belly. And then bending the knees as you exhale, take the hands forward and just interlace the hands around the front of the shins, or if that's too much of a reach, hold the back of the knees. And just take a moment here, breathing into the lower back, maybe bringing movement in, maybe circling on the sacrum, or just staying still in the centre. If you're circling, just do 2 or 3 circles in each direction, massaging lower back, sacrum. Sometimes it's nice to just be still though. So feel what's right for you today. And we're going to finish with the plough, Halasana, going into Karnapitasana. So if inversions are too much for you for any reason, you could just come back to this legs in the air. This could be your inversion. Otherwise, we're going to take the hands by the sides, palms down, and we need a little bit of momentum this time. So we push through the hands and press as we lift the feet up and back. And if the feet touch down, great. We can interlace, we can again bring the shoulders underneath us, interlace the fingers, or press down, or even hold the edges of the mat. If the feet don't touch down, elbows bent, support the lower back.
once we're up, don't move the head side to side, just keep looking up, don't compromise the neck. You can be on the toes here. I like to be on the toenails if the feet are touching down, to stretch the front of the feet, which for most of us get tight. So we're just taking a few breaths here in the plough, the feet touch down, really engage the front thighs, lifting the knees up to bring the hips higher and bring the knees away from the face, draw the navel back to the spine. So inversions are really good for calming and balancing the mind. We're sending blood towards the brain, towards the heart, stimulating the brain, the mind, but in a very calming way. The vagus nerve is stimulated as well, which is can initiate this kind of parasympathetic calming process in the body. So you might feel the breath becoming steadier. Okay, so then we're going to just bend the knees for Kanapidasana. If the feet are off the floor, again, you're still holding the back here, just do what you can. But if the feet are down on the floor, we bend the knees towards the outside of the ears. And if you're anywhere close to the ears, you can actually squeeze the knees into the ears to come into a pratyahara, sense withdrawal. We shut out the world with our legs. Your knees may or may not touch down, it doesn't matter. So you could be supporting the back. And then returning to the plough, so straightening the legs again, coming back onto the toenails, and then we're going to come out with core control. So release the hands again, holding onto the mats can be useful for some people, onto the edges of the mats, and then we see if we can roll out vertebra by vertebra. If the lower back or the back is tight, this isn't going to be available, but for those whose back is open enough, vertebra by vertebra. Otherwise, just with as much core control as you can muster, trying to keep the head on the floor, we start to open out of the posture, and eventually the legs will get to a vertical position, and you can just enjoy that lovely feeling for a moment of the sacrum connecting, and then from there you can just bend the knees and come down one leg at a time. If you want to continue the core challenge, connect with your core and double leg lower. Only do this if the lower back is okay. If you've got any lower back issues, skip this, come down with bent legs or one leg at a time. Very strong legs if you're coming down 2 legs at a time, let the legs support you. And then we just reach the floor and come into kind of like mountain pose on the floor. So just hands by the side, we're kind of like in this candlestick shape here, candles shape, pushing out through the heels. And we're just going to take a counter posture, Mattyasana, the fish. So just let the hands hold onto the outer hips, outer buttocks, lift yourself up onto your elbows. Elbows as close in as possible, and then we inhale, lift the chest, so we're arching the spine strongly, lifting the chest to the ceiling and drop the head back. So this is the counter pose for the neck, opening the throat, opening the heart, breathing into the chest, the heart, the throat. If you're more confident here, you can walk the elbows out a little bit more and bring the top of the head down to the floor and bring the hands to rest on the front of the thigh, so you're just balanced on the head and the legs. Otherwise we're still using the elbows. Okay, so from here, if you have got the elbows off the floor, bring them back to the floor, and then everybody slowly bring the chin to the chest. You might cough at this point, I usually do a little bit today, and then walk the elbows out, bring the spine, the back down onto the mat, and just, we're not going to come into Shavasana straight away, just come to that more kind of like Tadasana shape again, candlestick shape. And then just to finish, or before we finish, we're just going to take Happy Baby. So just bring the knees towards the armpits, take the hands to the outer feet, outer, or the ankles, or back of the knees, or even shins, but knees towards the armpits. And most variations, shins vertical, feet flexed. Breathing into the lower back, inner thighs, inner hips. Relax the shoulders. Make sure the head's supported. Don't lift the head off the floor. If you need to, put a block or something under the back of the head. Slow, deep breaths. Okay, and then before Shavasana, we're going to return to seated. So just bring the knees together, take a moment, maybe to come to seated. It might be good to just roll onto the side, and then from there just use the hands to press yourself up. So we come up nice and slow, we don't interrupt the benefits of this yoga practice that we're creating, this calming, grounding feeling. So we come to a comfortable seated position. You could be in a chair if you needed to, or cross-legged or kneeling. And just again settle the legs and the hips, let the spine lift up and away. I'm going to finish with 5 rounds of Nadi Shodhana, the single nostril breath, which is a very balancing, calming pranayama breath technique. And then move into maybe 5 minutes of a kind of a guided meditation, just a meditation practice, something to, if we commit to doing this sequence or a similar sequence regularly, then the meditation's just like the postures, just like the asanas. With practice, it gets easier to watch the mind rather than totally be in the mind. And over time we can learn to harness our mind to serve us, not to work against us. So let's start with Nadi Shodhana. So we're going to take the mudra of tucking the first 2 fingers in. So index and middle finger tuck in, ring finger and little finger and thumb stick out. Okay, hopefully that works for you. If not, you can take any other variation, but we need to have the thumb and some fingers free to close off the nostrils alternatively. Other hand can just rest in the lap, maybe take Yanana Mudra, first finger to thumb, 3 fingers extend on palm up on the opposite hand, but make sure the shoulders stay relaxed, spine vertical, torso free. Press your right thumb to your right nostril. If you're left-handed, you could reverse all of this, reverse the instructions. And exhale, breathe all the air out of the left nostril, just one sharp exhale, just fully get rid of it all. And then close the left nostril, and then we begin on the right. So inhale through the right nostril. Top of the inhale, we swap, press the right nostril with the thumb, breathe out left nostril. Breathe in left nostril. Top of the inhale, swap, press left nostril, breathe out right nostril. That's 1 round. Breathe in right nostril. Top of the inhale, swap, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Top of the inhale, swap, breathe out right. Round 3, breathe in right. Swap, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Swap, breathe out right. Round 4, breathe in right. Swap, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Swap, breathe out right. Last round, breathe in right. Swap, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Swap, breathe out right. Release the right hand, breathe in 2 or 3 deep, slow deep breaths through both nostrils. And noticing if you feel more calm, more balanced, more grounded. Hopefully the nostrils feel free and open and spacious. They usually do after that practice.
just staying seated, we're just going to close the eyes if they're not already closed. Make sure you're relaxed. Maybe you can lean against a wall, you could sit in a chair, hands could be in the lap, one hand on top of the other, or again on top of in a Jnana Mudra with both hands now. First finger touches thumb tip, 3 other fingers extend, palms up. Classic meditation posture. And with the spine nice and straight, the neck long, the shoulders relaxed, we're going to draw the inner gaze together and up towards the space between the eyebrows. And we're just going to begin, we're going to create a mental focus, which is going to be the breath. And just watch the breath. So this practice is a practice of focus. We practice dhyana, focus, mental concentration, before we move into dharana, meditation. This is what leads to meditation. Meditation, the state of meditation or dharana, arises naturally and spontaneously, but first we have to learn how to focus the mind. So we're just watching the breath. And I'm going to add an internal mantra here. So as you inhale, you can internally chant so. As we exhale, chant hum inside your head. Inhale so. Exhale hum. Inhale so. Exhale hum. Inhale so. Exhale hum. Just keep that going to your breath rhythm. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. And we use this simple mantra as a mind focus tool. We focus the mind, we give it something to do. And if thoughts come in, if you get distracted from your so hum meditation or focus, just accept, don't judge yourself, don't beat yourself up. Just in the act of noticing, you have stepped out of the mind and you've joined your now with the internal detached observer, the equanimous internal observer that's always watching, never judging, open and accepting to everything, totally peaceful, totally centered. So when we notice our thoughts, we are not our thoughts, we are the observer. And you just guide your mind back to your internal focus, so on the inhale, hum on the exhale. And we do this as many times as we need. So it's not failure for the mind to get involved and distract us, it's just called being human, but it's how we deal with it. Don't judge yourself for that. Just gently bring the awareness back to so inhaling, hum, exhaling. Has travelled, just bring it back for maybe another 30 seconds or so. So hum, internal breath meditation mantra. time just coming out of this, so maybe just swallowing, maybe just running the thumb along the tips of the fingers, just fully coming back to feeling your body. And then when you're ready, blinking the eyes open, maybe putting the hands over the eyes as you open the eyes into the space behind the hands, and then release the hands. And we're going to come and just take a few minutes Shavasana. As this is a home practice, you could go beyond the scope of this video and take longer in Shavasana, but otherwise we're just going to be in Shavasana for a couple of minutes just to integrate all of that work, the postures, the breathing, the meditation, just coming to stillness. So feet wider than hips, toes flopping out to the side, arms away from the side, palms up. Release effort from the body, release any breath effort, just become heavy and still. Legs relaxed, arms relaxed, belly, back, buttocks relaxed, neck, shoulders relaxed, and face relaxed, gap between the teeth. Cheeks soft, forehead smooth, eyes rolling back in their sockets, just naturally, whole body relaxed and heavy, and just receiving the fruits of the practice, this gift you are giving yourself every time you take to the mat and practice. It's like putting a penny in the pot of positive growth, transformation, healing, nurturing. Precious time for yourself, precious self-love, an act of self-love every time you practice. And that's powerful, especially when we start to commit to a regular practice. It's like saying to the universe, I'm ready to put myself first, I'm ready to heal, I'm ready to expand, love myself, become all that I came here to be, and the universe will step in and help you as much as it can, which is a lot. Okay, so from here, just slowly coming out of Shavasana in your own time. As I say, if you want to be here for longer, if you have time, please take that time. That's an extension of this gift to yourself. But otherwise, maybe moving fingers and toes, maybe taking a deeper full body stretch or bringing the knees into the chest. And we're going to meet in seated to close. So again, maybe nice to just roll onto the side and just take your time, so you can just pause there for a moment before you push yourself back up to seated, so we don't rush ourselves up. And then we're just going to close by coming back to the intention we made at the start. So just sit comfortably, maybe bringing the hands together at the centre of the chest, a sense of harnessing all this amazing energy we've created, bringing it into our centre. And we're praying here to ourselves. You know, this is the prayer position, namaste position, but it's really to ourselves. This is our self-practice. And repeat that intention that you made at the start, so that we know that the fruit, the energy we've generated in today's practice is being directed towards this theme in your life, towards this that you want to manifest, that you want to bring into your life. But we say it as if it is already the case, with feeling. And just trust, and so it is. We've done the work, just let the universe do the rest. Okay, so if the eyes are closed, blinking and open. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day, and I hope to see you on the mat again soon.